part of the video, I'm going to show you the Florida Geographic Data Library website again. Now, I need to go out and I typed in FGDL and I'm going to go to the FTP site. Okay, I'm going to go to the county. I'm going to, need to go back one. Double click too fast. I need to go to Orange. I'm going to go to the Orange Core. And the ones that I'm going to select are going to be your basins. The basins. So it's already downloading, sending a request and sending me my zip file. I'm going to go to the parcels. Make sure I have my parcels. You can use the parcels from the last class also. I'm going to download the FEMA. I'm going to download the Land Use St. John's Water Management District map. And I'm going to download the Topo 48. Okay? I'm not sure why that popped up, but I guess it requires an authentication. This might have changed since the last time I've used this program, but as it downloads, I've already uploaded these zip files into your into the Blackboard. Now, when you do this, you can actually unzip it, and you can extract all the data and send it to a certain location. I've already sent it to my C drive, but take a look at the information. You need all of these files to actually create the parcel or to get it to insert into GIS. Specifically, you need the shape file in addition to this backup information, the database, and if you're using it in AutoCAD, then you'll need a shape file for AutoCAD. All right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the data that I have on my flash drive, or my hard drive. So I'm going to go to C, I'm going to go to Esri Press, I'm going to go to ArcGIS, and here's my Project 3, and the data that I've exported. So they'll be in these files. I'm not going to show you the breakdown because it takes a little bit of time for it to go ahead and download, but I have the instructions in in here for you all to download if you need the instructions. Show you right here. So once you get the information, if you go to this page, it'll show you how to download it and put it into the data folder. All right, so I'm not going to show you that in this video, so you can look at that. Now, what I am going to do is, now that I've got my data, I'm going to bring in certain pieces of information. So I'm just going to go to my file folder. Now remember, when you're working on files in GIS, then you're going to have to connect it to the folders that you're working in, to your data connection folders. So I'm going to come back over here and put my GIS. Now, you can do it through catalog and set the catalog folder up, and see how I've already got home. It's already, because I've already set this up once before, it knows where to go. Or I can set up the file folder through this connection here. So connect to folder. I'm going to go to this PC, my C drive, Esri Press. Oops. Getting to know ArcGIS, and go OK. So here's another example of how that folder is set. So now I can come out here and I can go to Project 3, and there's all my data inside these folders. Now, what you can do is you can either add, and I'll show you two ways. You can come in here and go to Project 3, Data, Basins, add the shape files, and you can do this in any order. I'm just going to start from top to bottom and just add it. Now when it does that, I've got two drainage basins. You can see this drainage basin divide, but I can't see anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and bring everything in, and then I'm going to modify it. Or you can come over here to your catalog, and you can click on FEMA, and then you can just drag and drop. Oops, I shouldn't have dropped it there, so I'm going to drag it back. I'm going to right-click that. If you ever do make a mistake, you can actually remove that layer. I should have had it up here, like it's showing up here. Okay, so I'm going to click, and now I'm going to bring in the St. John's land use. Each of these pieces of information is going to build the map that I need. Now, I actually bring in irrelevant information just so I can show you how to manage your data. I'm going to bring in the parcels. And the last but not least, I'm going to bring in the topo. All right, now, you can't see a lot of the information because of how we've got the data managed. For example, I'm going to revise the use in over here in my layers. I'm going to revise how this order is. Now, when we're doing this, I'm not actually going to use the land use data. Let me pull this over so you can see it in this project. We'll use this later in another project. So I'm going to drag this down to the bottom, and I'm going to uncheck it. Okay, that means I'm not going to use it right now. So I'm going to put the parcels on top. Now, it might take a little bit for me to do some of this stuff because I am using my laptop and not the computers at school. So, just bear with me. I'm going to put the topo next. It has land use. I'm going to change my basins. And then FEMA. Now, you can actually change the names of these. So you can click on it, and I can just say parcels, topo, drainage basins, FEMA, and land use. Land use is all the different types of vegetation or commercial development, anything the land is actually being used for, maybe a wetland, a pond, a lake, something like that. All right, now this is what my map looks like, okay? So my project area is over here. Now, if you want to go ahead and start changing your information, my map may not look exactly like your map. So the colors may be different or something like that. So if you need to, the other thing is if you need to refresh the view, if something starts to glitch, then you can actually refresh. And it'll turn out like this. All right. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to change the parcel information. So I'm going to click the parcel, right click, and go to properties. Now I can change it here in symbology, or I can just actually click on this purple box, and I want to change it to hollow. And I want the boundaries to be, I'm going to say 1, and I'm going to change the outline to an electric gold. Now, in the instructions, I click it to either a half or, actually, it's, 0.5, but I'm going to do 1 in the video, just to make it a little bit bolder. If it's too much, then I'll take it away. All right, notice that it really hasn't changed. I need to now change the other colors in my drawing. So I've got the drainage basin as a solid color. So I'm going to change the drainage basins. If I click this, I could change it to blue. Drainage basins would be good blue. But here's the thing. I actually have multiple drainage basins in here. If you take a look at the properties, if you take a look at the attribute tables, you can actually see multiple types of basins in here. All these different types. You've got Wekiva, an unnamed basin, rock springs, farm ditches. These are the drainage basins that we have. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to symbolize these basins so they have different colors. So I'm going to go to Properties, I'm going to go to Symbology, and I'm going to go to Categories. When I do that, the value field that I want to put in is going to be basin without the S, or without the S in the underscore. So I just want the basin, and I want to change that color ramp to a blue color ramp. Oh, that's red. Blue. There we go. Now I'm going to uncheck all the values, but I'm going to add all the values that are in there. If you click add values, what it's going to do is going to show you here. So I'm going to undo that, remove all. If I click add values, I can pick the specific values that I want. By clicking add all values, it puts all the drainage basins in there. So I'm going to uncheck that. Now I'm going to click OK. And what that does is it actually puts your drainage basins in different colors. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to add a label for the drainage basin name. Okay, so I'm going to come back up and I'm going to go to Properties. And on this, I'm going to go to the labels. So I need to come over here to Labels. And I'm going, my computer's a little slow, so bear with me. I'm going to add labels in this feature. Now what I have to do is I have to start the label field. I have to change that to the basin name. Now I can change the text size and the type. So I'm going to click on Symbol first. Now I want it to have a specific look about it. So I'm going to change that, edit symbol, and this is where you can make the text look different. So we're going to be adding what's known as a halo. That means it might be black text with a white halo around it. So underneath text symbol, I'm going to come over here to go mask, and I want a halo around it, and I want it to be 2. So I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to click OK again. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to Placement Properties. Now how I want this placed is how I want the text to look. I always want it horizontal, so when I'm reading it from the bottom up so it looks right. And I want to place 1 per feature. And click OK. And click Apply. And OK. And what that does is it should put, take a minute, it should put the names of the basins on my map. So we'll need to zoom out a little bit to get this. There you go. So now we know that our basins, this blue over here is Shingle Creek Drainage Basin, and this blue over here is the unnamed Lake District. All right, and see the white around the black text? That's what the halo does. All right, now the next thing is I want to be able to see some of the aerial that I brought in that base map. So I'm going to need to make the layers, these colored layers in the drainage basin transparent. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Properties and I'm going to come up to Display. Again, my computer's slow. So I'm going to come up to display, and I'm going to tell right here is I want it to display a transparency of 40%. Apply and OK. Now, we should see more of the background for the aerial. Now the reason why we can't see the background, if anybody has noticed, down here I still have the FEMA box checked, and it's got a hollow, it's got a blue color, so I still can't see that base map until I change the FEMA. Well, I'm going to just uncheck that for right now so you can see it when it rebuilds. So now I can actually see the difference in, I can see the transparency. Okay. All right. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I want to, let's say I don't want to, the other thing that's taken a really long time is all these parcels regenerated. So what I want to do is I only want to keep the Valencia parcel. I don't want to worry about any other parcel except for Valencia. So we need to make sure that the Valencia parcel is selected, or the parcels is the current layer that I'm on. Now, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to show you in the next video how to isolate certain parcels and make new or isolate certain elements and make new layers out of those elements. So I'm going to stop now and I'll show you in the next video how to isolate my parcel and create a new layer for it.